In this video I'm going to show you how to make the pocket for the small Tupelo tag-along. These pockets for the small Tupelo tag-along are simply business or credit card pockets. So there'll be no zipper in them. They'll just be a place where you can tuck business or credit cards or cash or notes or things like that. So to start with, you're going to cut a strip of fabric and a strip of Durafuse by Bosel or Decor Bond by Pellon, according to your pattern. Then you're going to fuse the two together and trim them to the length that is specified in your pattern. You're going to be drawing some lines across your piece, and I recommend using a ruler and a Choco liner. This is a Clover Choco liner. It has a little wheel that dispenses the chalk, but it also, that little wheel will help to score your fabric. It won't cut it, but it will just score it and make folding a little bit easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to be drawing lines according to the pattern direction. You're going to be drawing lines an inch in from each end, 4 inches in from that line, 3 inches in from that line, 2.5 inches in from that line, 2 inches from that line, and then you're going to be drawing a center line. These two yellow lines that are 1.5 inches on each side of this center line are stitching lines. And those don't need to be drawn right now, but while you're drawing, you might as well do it. So, again, I mentioned using a Choco liner, and the reason is when you draw that chalk on those lines, it is going to score it a little bit. According to the diagram in your pattern, some of these lines are marked with a V, which represents a valley fold. Some are marked with an M, which represents a mountain fold. A valley fold is simply that. It's going to be the valley, or the bottom of the pocket. The mountain is going to be the top of the pocket. Now I'll fold these, and then I'm just going to pin. This is a valley, this is a mountain, and then I'm going to pin. On the other side, we're going to do the same thing. The first fold is a valley fold, so we'll fold that up. And the next fold is a mountain fold. See if I can get that valley fold right. Then we have the valley fold. And then a mountain fold. So on every mountain fold, oops, I'm going to fold that up. On every mountain fold, you want to stitch across that mountain fold with a 1/4 inch seam. The next step is to bind the two edges of this piece. So here, move that out of the way, I've taken this and I'm binding the two outside edges. I'm simply placing the binding on, stitching down that side with a 1/4 inch seam, folding it to the back nice and neatly, and then I'm going to pin in the ditch. You want to fold it over and make sure that you can see the pin on the other side, because you want to catch this fabric when you sew the pocket onto the bag. So I'll just pin this in 3 places, just to make sure that we catch that binding when we sew it onto the pocket. Sew it onto the bag. The next step is I'm going to take my bag body. I've already drawn a line across the center of the bag. Now, you'll draw that line across the center of the bag if you're placing the pockets on the bag. If you're not, there's no need to draw that line across the center of the bag. Now remember, these pockets are optional, and they are to be sewn to the bag before you bind either edge or put the zipper on. So the first thing that you're going to do is you've drawn a line across the center of your pockets and you've drawn a line across the center of your bag body. Match those lines and then center this from side to side. Center your pocket from side to side and pin it on. Use the same pins that you used to pin your binding down. The next step is you are going to sew in the ditch on this side all the way down end to end on your pocket. That attaches the pocket to the bag. Additionally, you'll sew this side end to end. Now notice how this extends over the end a little bit. Don't worry, you'll trim those in a minute. The next step is you drew some yellow lines or chalk mark lines 1.5 inches away from your center line. You're going to stitch across that from binding edge to binding edge here and here. That delineates the bottom of the bag. Now those seams can be seen on the outside of your purse, so use coordinating thread. Once you've got the bottom seam line sewn, flip the bag over and trim the edges even with the raw edge of your pouch. You'll go on to bind these raw edges and add the zipper. And that's it.